What's up everybody, it's your favorite gay-looking straight boy Hunter Avalone here, back with another video. I don't know about you, but quarantine has me acting a little crazy. So crazy, in fact, I just signed up for HBO Max just so I can watch and review this movie. Don't worry, I got the 7-day free trial, so I'm gonna just cancel it right after I post this video. Sorry HBO, you can suck on this Max. Today's subject of review is the 2020 DC movie Birds of Prey. Or, I'm sorry, to be specific, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. That's a mouthful. You probably remember when this movie was coming out earlier this year, and let's all not forget it is about a woman, so therefore it's a feminist film. Seriously, this movie is actually written and directed by women. It continues the story of Harley Quinn after her breakup from her freak in the streets and sheets crazy ex-boyfriend Joker. This movie had a lot of pressure to be some kind of a feminist film, but when it came out, it was obvious that this was going to be an uphill battle. The movie ended up doing pretty poorly in the box office, and now it sits behind an HBO Max subscription and mediocre reviews. But I thought to myself, what would this empowering female flick really be like? Is Birds of Prey the next feminist icon? Is this movie really that bad? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty bad. I sat back and watched Birds of Prey, this feminist superhero movie, so you don't have to. The movie begins with a backstory into how Harley Quinn became Harley Quinn. We learned that most of the crazy shit she did was for her ex-boyfriend, the Joker. If you saw Suicide Squad, you probably know that Harley's character is largely based on her abusive relationship with the Joker, but in this movie, it begins with Harley getting dumped and tossed out onto the streets. We don't know why they broke up, we don't know what happened, and we're never really told why. I guess she just threw herself into a vat of chemical waste for this Joker guy, only to get dumped in the next movie. Yikes. Part of the reason I think this movie was considered feminist is because the movie largely focuses on Harley's attempt at forming her own identity outside of the controlling Joker. And that's where this starts, with Harley cutting her hair, feeding some guy to a hyena, smashing the knees of this guy, and eventually blowing up the chemical plant where her and Joker first met. Throughout this chaos, we're introduced to a few important characters. First, we meet our villain, Roman Sionis? I watched the movie, I should know how to say this. Whatever, it's the Black Mask, that's who the villain is. And we also meet his singer crush, Black Canary. So Harley crashes a truck into the chemical plant and blows it up as some kind of display that her and Joker have broken up. This, however, results in the entire city being made aware that she's no longer protected by the Joker, which also alerts the main cop character that Harley and Joker are no more. Here we meet yet another important character, the cop, the rough and tough trailblazer who's had her career sabotaged by men.
But her partner at the time took all the credit. So while he made captain, she got stuck at detective level.
As the cop is investigating a murder, we discover another important character the movie wants you to care about, this random chick shooting people with a crossbow. And the cop knew it was a woman because hair?
We got a hair.
I'm sure you can already notice a flaw with this film. It tries to pack way too many characters into one movie, and we haven't even met everyone who we're supposed to care about yet. I also like how the cop just knows stuff. There's long hair. Female assassin. There's a necklace. Harley and Joker just broke up.
She just publicly updated her relationship status.
Look, I get it. You have a script to follow, but in the words of Joe Biden, come on, man. As I mentioned earlier, the explosion alerted the city that Harley is no longer protected by the Joker. We get a scene of our main villain cutting people's faces off, and although the scene was a little unsettling, it's mostly forgettable due to the fact it's just a scene being shown and then it's over. The movie introduces people with this cartoonish text and freeze frame editing, which is fine. I kinda like it. It's cute, but it's also just a little lazy. This movie doesn't let you figure a lot out for yourself. It mostly just spoon feeds you everything you need to know at a really awkward pace. So the next morning, Harley Quinn is literally lusting after this breakfast sandwich. When she starts getting chased by the cop lady, Harley runs and ends up bumping into a few other random thugs who she's pissed off at one point or another. Harley then gets saved by the crossbow girl, and next we see the cop being disrespected by the men at her police station. Yeah, that's another common theme. Virtually all men are bad in this movie. And here we meet another character that's supposed to matter, this common thief slash foster kid, Cassandra. So anyway, the cop tries to explain to her boss, the guy who also stole her promotion, that she thinks the main villain is trying to find this diamond. Then Harley's narration literally just breaks in, and we're given this history lesson about the significance of this diamond. The pacing of the movie and these constant flashbacks to explain shit to the audience is really jarring and awkward. I think the movie wants you to feel like the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place, but again, it's lazy. And instead, it feels like the movie is just awkwardly stopping to explain everything to you throughout. Anyway, we find out that these people were killed by some mobster in order to find this diamond, a diamond that's the key to this fortune. The main villain is already extremely rich and owns like everything, so why he'd be searching so hard for a diamond that'll give him more money is kinda lame. Doesn't really feel like the stakes are very high. He does claim by getting this diamond, he'll have a monopoly over the city, although how the diamond will grant him that is never really explained. At the 20-minute mark, we get some crazy scene of Harley taking on the entire police department with nothing but a confetti gun. Yeah, she smashes people's kneecaps for being rude and even lights a guy on fire at one point. But when she breaks into the police station, she decides to strap herself with confetti. I feel like the movie was trying to be funny and kind of quirky here, but instead it just comes across inconsistent. Like, Harley is no stranger to using violence, so why is she being so gentle here? And also, why are trained police officers falling down unconscious after getting hit by a Party City commercial? Harley is here because she's looking for that thief slash foster kid, Cassandra. Why? Well, we don't know yet, but never mind, the movie is now rewinding to explain it to us. So this is a long portion of the movie, okay? So hang on to your butts. But basically, the main villain is sexist. Shocking, I know, right? He wants the diamond because he's greedy. It's at this club where Harley and the singer chick meet. Harley gets drunk and another disgusting man-pig tries to take advantage of her. Surprise, surprise, I guess it's just men's nature. So singer girl sticks up for her by suddenly breaking into some stylized fighting out of nowhere. The main villain notices her fighting ability, so he demands this singer girl become his driver slash assistant. Next, it's established that the singer girl and the foster girl know each other. I think they live in like the same apartment building. And then later, the foster girl is pickpocketing and she ends up stealing the expensive diamond by accident. She's hauled off to prison, and the villain is mad because he wanted the diamond. But it turns out Harley Quinn has been captured, and she's now waiting downstairs for the villain to kill her. If it feels like I'm explaining this in a really choppy way, that's just because this is how the movie is. We've seen Harley fighting groups of big men repeatedly, but somehow she got captured this one time, I guess. Okay, cool, whatever. Anyway, in exchange for her life, Harley promises to find Cassandra and bring the diamond back. The villain also sends out a $500,000 bounty on Cassandra to every mercenary in Gotham. So that's why Harley Quinn is in the police station, shooting confetti at everyone, demanding to know where Cassandra is. Harley finds Cassandra, but in doing so, she accidentally releases other prisoners who are also mad at her, and the mercenaries have shown up also now. So Harley proceeds to fight every single one of these people with complete ease. I don't think Mary Sue is the right term, but no fighting sequence feels threatening. It's obvious every time that Harley is going to win and make it out without so much as a scratch. And although the fight scenes are decent, and I did like this slow motion fight which took place in the prison while the sprinklers were on, that actually looked really cool, and the cinematography was really good also, but they never really felt intense. We never felt worried for our main protagonist. At one point, the cop even holds Harley at gunpoint, so she kicks the phone and knocks the cop out like some David and Goliath shit. It just looks too easy, and I think a lot of it comes down to lazy script writing. The next scene, Harley and Cassandra are driving, and we find out that Cassandra ate the diamond, so they need to get it out of her ASAP, so they're buying laxatives. Anyway, we get some boring and somewhat meaningless scenes of Harley and Cassandra bonding. So cute. Aren't there like 5 other main characters we're supposed to be caring about right now also? Harley and Cassandra hide out in the upstairs of this guy's restaurant, but shortly later, the crossbow chick shows up, and we find out it was her family who was killed over the diamond in the beginning. Oh! This was not a bad twist. This was decent. I actually kind of like this, and I didn't really see it coming. The next scene shows the villain catching wind that Harley allegedly ran away with the diamond, and in his rage, he forces this woman to stand on a table and take her clothes off. I think this is supposed to be showing how much of a misogynist this guy is. Like, he takes his anger out by humiliating this woman who is just minding her own business. So after we see this one guy being a major asshole, we see another man being a major asshole because the cop lady has been suspended by the guy who stole her job. Next, we see another male being a major asshole because the guy who was letting the girls hide sold them out for money. 3 asshole men in a row. Wow, this feminist flick is on fire. Anyway, we are finally approaching the climax of the film. It probably doesn't feel that long in my review, but watching it, it felt so long. Harley tells the villain to meet her at this abandoned amusement park. This is an unnecessarily long scene, but basically, the singer girl ends up here because she's being forced to work for the bad guy. The cop arrives because she's been alerted that Harley is here, and the crossbow chick is here to kill the assassins. This scene goes on for a really long time. They see the bad guy with his army outside, and all the women, even the cop who was kicked out a window earlier and is now just magically back, all decide to work together to fight the bad guy. That's right. Girl power saves the day. We see another clip of a dude being rapey and creepy before he dies, and from this point on, we get a long and rather safe fight scene. The villain sends his army of goons in after the girl squad, and this portion of the movie depicts just how much suspense this R-rated action movie lacks. It's just so easy for the girls to fight these guys. It's like the girls are being chased by styrofoam NPCs. Come on, you're telling me this guy looks like he just got hit by a truck when he gets knocked with this plushy hand thing? And it's fine, I guess, it's just this scene is really goofy. And we've already seen a lot of quick and meaningless fight scenes, which, again, is fine, but just don't go into this movie expecting to be on the edge of your seat. Some of these fights do start to feel just a little like filler. For comparison, Lord of the Rings had long battle scenes that I once felt were boring, but rewatching it as an adult, I understand how the plotline incorporated the battle scenes. You cared about why they were fighting, and you were scared for the characters at points because you knew the movie wasn't afraid to take away important characters. With Birds of Prey, you could skip most of the battle/fight scenes and still understand the movie completely. Nothing significant happens throughout. Like, this nonsense doesn't even matter. We really just care about the villain who's just standing there waiting right now, I guess. As they're trying to run away, the cop lady gets shot, and here I thought the movie may be taking an unpredictable turn, so my interest instantly peaked. Is the movie gonna take a risk and kill off a main character? Nope, she was wearing a bulletproof vest. Something that was quite jarring here is also how Harley has been shown taking on bad guys throughout this whole movie. She's been shown flipping around like a ninja, knocking out anyone in her sight. Yet now she needs all these other fighter girls to help her? We've never established the fact that Harley can't do this by herself. It almost comes from a place of convenience, like they're all there at the same time, might as well just fight side by side. We see that the foster girl has been captured. And brace yourselves, guys, because here comes the worst scene in the entire movie. Singer girl has super lungs. Yeah, out of nowhere she sings this force field thing, destroying the army in the way and letting Harley run to try and catch Cassandra. Holy crap. Could you imagine what this bitch would do with COVID? I also feel like if Singer Girl had these powers, there were many times beforehand that you could have used this. Okay, whatever, the movie should be ending here, but nope, now Harley is just on roller skates. Randomly, she's just randomly on roller skates. But at this point, you're desensitized, you don't care. There's a brief chase, the villain crashes his car, and the villain also runs into the fog with Cassandra. Harley tries to shoot him and misses. Uh-oh, is the movie about to take, dare I say, risk? Nope. Cassandra earlier stole some kind of necklace, which we literally didn't even know, so it did a quick little flashback to show us that she stole some kind of necklace, which was also an explosive device, so she blows the villain up. Take that, patriarchy! From this point on, Harley and all the girls are friends, until Harley randomly decides to steal one of the girls' cars before driving away. The other girls then decide to start some kind of crime-fighting organization called Birds of Prey, which, by the way, is the name of the movie, and Harley goes off to mentor the foster girl to be a crazy crook, and then they eat egg sandwiches. The end. This movie failed to do what it set out to do. It was hailed as a feminist film due to the director and writer being women plus a majority female cast, but the feminist aspect was shallow. The story was lazy and forced, and basically boiled down to the female villains turning out to be kind of good, and all of the women being victims of men. Meanwhile, all the male villains stay bad and didn't have an ounce of humanity throughout the entire movie. The way the movie chose to depict men was really two-dimensional also. They were all just psycho killers who had no morals and were always ready to take advantage of women and literally kill children. It was just so dumb and lazy, and it narrowed everything down to this unrealistic women versus men crap. Even Harley Quinn, since being introduced in the early 90s, hasn't exactly been a feminist icon. She was a victim of an abusive relationship, and her abuse was often the butt of jokes throughout the franchise. And hey, I don't have a problem with reappropriating Harley Quinn, but it was purely in name only. I think a feminist film should have some kind of representation of real-world problems. But this was just the cliche, rich, sexist, and unrealistically morally depraved men and the squad of girl powers. The movie made it appear as if men are by nature evil, where women are always misunderstood and victims of the patriarchy. So as a feminist film, this movie completely fails. As a pop feminist film, I'd think it would be a success. As a superhero movie, its only redeemable qualities were entertaining fight sequences and some occasional humor, but overall the story was lacking in depth, felt scattered, rushed, and inconsistent. If you remember the movie Kingsman, at the end they blew up people's heads, but it was depicted as fireworks and it wasn't very gruesome. Birds of Prey couldn't figure out if it wanted to take the humorous, less gruesome approach or the gruesome, gory approach, so they just did both, which was really odd and felt inconsistent. 1 second you're literally watching the villain skin people's faces off, and then Harley Quinn is taking on entire police departments with confetti and Play-Doh. What does this movie want to be? The action sequences were well filmed, but the story was so lacking, and Harley was shown being so powerful the entire time, it ended up falling flat and never feeling serious or suspenseful. So as a superhero movie, it also failed. All in all, it failed as a feminist film, a superhero movie, and a comedy. So instead, it just tried to do everything by just mashing it into this mess. Birds of Prey, I'll give you 2 out of 10, because you gave me something to do during quarantine. So thank you. And thank you, random citizen, for watching this video. Please give this video a like, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to see me do more movie reviews, hit that like button and click the subscribe button, and maybe I'll do more just like this. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all soon. Peace.